This has been a regularly scheduled time, so people are in the habit of coming on.
Good, good. Yeah, it's great you're doing this.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've gotten to talk more with my sponsors and exhibitors than I do at the event because the event
Right,
is crazy. I'll
right,
be
right.
everywhere. You're coming in on Friday, right? Friday
Yes.
afternoon. Good. Hey,
Yeah.
Suzanne. Hey, Julia. Hey, Deb. So yeah, they found us. Not bad. And we are on at 2:03. I think this is a recent record because it's things have been glitchy and we've been coming on a little bit later, but we made it. So you are all the way out in Wisconsin. Oh, excuse me. I have birds like trying to fly in my window. Hey, guys, remind me what state you're in, Melissa.
Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky. Okay, so you're warm at least.
Well, yeah, sort of.
Well, it's let's see. It doesn't even tell me how many degrees it is here. That's how bad it is.
It's the time of year here where it can be 70 one day and 30 the next.
Oh,
So
that would be challenging.
yeah,
That would
it
be challenging.
makes it a challenge for sure.
Yeah. So welcome everybody. I see we have a bunch of people on. Thank you for stopping by the next of our Healthy Dog Expo series of Facebook Lives in support of the expo. My guest today is Melissa, the founder of Four Legger Clean Dog Shampoos, skin products, amazing, amazing stuff. So thank you, Melissa, for taking the time out of your day.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And let's dive right in. How in the world did you come into the dog shampoo and skin product line of work?
Well, that's as many companies in our little holistic community are. It stems from a personal story. So, Four-Legger was inspired by my little white toy poodle named Henry Clay, who was diagnosed with cancer when he was 8 years old. And it was attributed to environmental toxins, which
Mm.
at the time, having a traditional vet say that, I really didn't understand the significance of that until I was much further into it. But he had surgery and was better, and then it recurred again, and it started in his urinary tract.
Mm.
And the vet actually said this is environmental toxins, probably yard treatment related and things like that. So really specific.
Yeah.
And so when it came back the third time, it had metastasized to his brainstem, and at that point, he had maybe 4 to 6 weeks or so to live. But he was an exceptional little dog, and he actually outlived his prognosis by 13 months.
Mm.
And he died on the day that I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer.
Wow.
And so I think he knew I had cancer before I knew I had cancer, and he was waiting around to make sure that I knew and knew to get help and be able to go on and do other things like Four-Legger. And so, my treatment was really long. It lasted 22 months, and it was, every complication imaginable. My cell counts went to infection fatal status at one point during chemo. And that's when my oncologist said, I know you've got dogs at home. I know they go walking and people are petting them, and your system can't handle any germs right now. So you need to start bathing them more often.
Mm.
So I thought I knew how to read a label and, choose a good product. And found out what I really knew how to do was be marketed to,
Mhm.
which is, such an issue today. And so within just a couple of weeks of choosing what, I thought was a pretty good product, they started having skin problems. They were itching and
Oh,
scratching and all kinds of carrying on. And so, at that point it was like, well, if I survive this, because, it really wasn't known at that time whether I was gonna even survive my cancer or not. I just, I said, we're going to do something different. If I survive this, we're going to do something different because, our pets are completely subject to everything that we do to them. What we put on them, what we put in them, they have no choice. That's just what they get. And during my process of kind of cleaning up my own act with, choosing healthier foods and products and things for myself, it just occurred to me, well, what in the world are we doing to the dogs, with the stuff that we're putting on them? So that's kind of where the inspiration behind Four Legger lied. And we took probably a good 15, 16 months of just research and development and talking with experts and in different holistic fields and natural ingredients and essential oils and all of that stuff. And we were able to come up with a product. We were a one trick pony for for a while with one of our shampoo variations, and it actually was ready to go to market the same month that I concluded my cancer treatment. So kind of the easy button for us was, let's just throw it up on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I hate Amazon, but now
Yeah.
I've learned to hate them, but you
Yeah.
got to live with them too.
Yep.
So we threw it up on Amazon, and in less than 6 weeks, that one product had sold in all 50 states and 6 countries in the world.
Wow.
And I thought, okay,
Yeah,
well,
what a story this is.
pretty good market test.
Everything just came together like it was meant to be.
Well, and I'm that kind of person. I'm a person
That's
of
how your
faith.
life happens to you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm a strong person of faith, and I believe that things work out in the way that they should. And this is far from what I thought I would be doing at this point in my life. I'm trained as an occupational therapist, and so that background, that educational background, lended itself very well to being able to develop products for dogs. We all basically have the same systems,
Right.
and that carries over very well to the canine group. And so a lot of the things that I already knew from anatomy and physiology and biology and all that stuff, it was just an easy fit to be able to do that.
To dive in. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really, really amazing. And we know so much now about glyphosate and other lawn chemical treatments, pesticides, all that stuff is
Right.
so bad for our dogs. I mean,
Yes.
it's bad for us too.
It
But
is.
the exposure is so much more intimate.
Right.
And I'm so grateful we have testing now for glyphosate for humans, for dogs. I have a friend who can even test a glyphosate level in a tumor if you wanted to show that that tumor was caused by Roundup.
Wow.
So it's getting better. And then we have companies like you that are putting out these chemical-free, products, whether they're cleaners, candles, shampoos, and it all helps so much.
Yeah. Well, we decided, after looking at the industry, at the time when we started the pet industry, the whole pet industry was a $135 billion industry globally. And that counts food and everything.
Sure.
Just the grooming part of it was a little over 35 billion. And
Billion.
globally.
And what did those guys say when, here you come on Amazon and wham, you sell all over the place? How were you received by the industry?
Well, kind of like the way the pet food industry is received. There's a lot of similarities between trying to clean up the food industry and the work that our friend Susan Thixton does with trying to keep the FDA in line and everything. But the big difference is within the grooming product segment of the pet industry, there is zero regulation, none. And so that is what prompted us to go the path of being certified organic. And so we went through the USDA National Organic Program, which is an extensive process, and it's ongoing. It's definitely an investment. We have to have every single label on every single product and every single size
Mhm.
separately certified, not just once, but annually.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of just getting your company, to be certified organic. You have to use facilities that are also certified organic to process and handle.
Yeah. So it's a lot like human grade pet food.
It's exactly like that. I mean, the standards apply. Our shampoo, one of our original shampoo line is certified organic to the food standard.
That is phenomenal.
And that's actually
When
the lower
when you
standard.
say when you say, the shampoo industry, we'll just call it that, grooming industry, has no regulations, that means no regulations for what they can
Ingredients.
put on the label, how
It,
they put listed in the ingredients,
exactly.
whether they have added something or not. I mean, it's just totally the Wild West.
It is entirely the Wild West. And
Wow.
that became evident real quick when we started talking to some potential, manufacturing partners, because, obviously we're not making this stuff at the kitchen
Kitchen
sink.
sink, yeah.
They're like, well, you should just use this preservative or that surfactant, and you don't even have to list it on your label. And we're
Oh
like,
my. Oh my.
okay, well, this is eye opening. I said, did you hear anything about the cancer
Yeah.
story? And so, we just, you literally, as a non-organic manufacturer, can put anything in a bottle, leave ingredients off of it if they sound particularly offensive, or if they're a hot topic in the media. You don't have to put any of your ingredients on there. You can put just the ones that sound great.
You say fragrance and it could be anything.
And it could be anything. It could be anything. And you don't know how many different constituents are contributing to just fragrance. I mean, over 500 is typically, in human perfume and cologne and stuff like that.
Mhm.
There can be as many as 500 different constituent levels of
That's
perfume.
mind-boggling.
It is. And you don't have any idea where it came from.
No,
So,
no. Where it came from, how it got there, or from there to here,
yes,
how long it
exactly.
sat around, what it was contaminated with. Oh my god.
So we felt like it was really important for the third party validation
Mhm.
is what the National Organic Program provides for four-legger. And it helps to distinguish the product, or, the companies that are really more interested in health and well-being than they are in profit.
Mhm.
They don't mind going that route, although it cuts a whole lot, into their profit margins to do so. That's why they don't.
Yeah.
But we did. It's been a while, but if you go back and look on Amazon, that's the biggest search engine in
It
the
is, it
world right
is.
now. If you do a search for organic dog shampoo, when we started, there were no results.
Right.
Now there are hundreds of thousands every month because of four-legger. We take credit for that.
Yeah, absolutely, you changed the industry.
And if you look at, say, the first 10 pages, nobody scrolls through 10 pages. Every single product that comes up out of 100, they will all say we're organic. We use natural ingredients. We don't use toxic chemicals. But out of 100, there are actually only two, less than two actually, um, companies that truly are certified organic, and everybody else just says they are.
Yeah, you can say anything in an Amazon ad.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and
I just
anywhere.
I wanna show you this comment. Carrie,
Hi, Carrie.
her wire schnauzer mix is no longer wire hair.
Oh,
She
that's awesome.
softened it up, but she loves the product, loves
Well,
it.
that's so awesome.
That's
And
why you do what you do.
it is. And one thing that organic shampoo does for a dog, health wise, all of these other products that are non-organic are made up of synthetic ingredients.
Mhm.
Synthetics, tend to bioaccumulate in the body. That's why, there's toxins, and,
Right.
people feel like I felt this way. My dog was 8 years old when he was diagnosed, and to me, it was all of a sudden he got sick. And I realized there was no all of a sudden to this. It's what I have been doing to him every day of his life since he was born for years. And, obviously, had I known better, I wouldn't have done the things or made the choices that I did. But, I followed the recommendations of my vet. And
well, and you trusted that someone said it was a good product. You trusted.
exactly. So, but one thing, the part of her comment that, her wire-haired terrier is no longer wire-haired. That's one of the things that organic shampoo will do is it removes the residue buildup that is on your dog's hair and skin and coat,
Mm-hmm.
and it will remove that so their natural coat can emerge.
Yeah.
What it's supposed to look like, not what it is contrived to look like by using synthetic ingredients that will create a look. Some people want their dog to look all white or look, nice and clean and smooth all the time. But, that's manipulated. That's not their natural coat. And we do a much better job of raising our pets when we do it naturally than when we try to manipulate it. So,
without a doubt. Now, where do your ingredients come from?
we have all kinds of different suppliers, and we actually work through the bottler that we chose to work with coordinates all of that because they are also, as a facility, certified organic to process and handle. So, it's different than any other kind of industry where you can get away with using synthetic and artificial ingredients because, they're not subject to crop damage or, devastating floods or, things like that can destroy an entire crop. And when that happens, we have to recertify.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just go, okay, well, we ran out of this lavender, so we'll go to this supplier and get it. No, I mean that they have to be in the system too.
Exactly.
So that there's always a trail from the seed, to the ground, to the harvesting, to the facility, to the manufacturing, to the mixing, to the bottling, to the shelf. I mean, there's a process that has to be followed.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think of the food industry, whereas if they run out of chicken meal, they're not going to shut the machine down and stop and go look for another supplier. They take whatever they can get and just keep pouring it in, guys. And we don't test it on the inbound side. We don't test it on the outbound side, or we'd know we needed to recall it. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And, some of the specific ingredients, that are in dog shampoos, I mean, the kinds of preservatives that are used, I mean, they're synthetic. And, one of the most common preservatives that is routinely found, not just in dog shampoo, but human products too, is DMDM hydantin. Had no idea what it was.
Yeah, I'm like, what did she just say? DMDM
hydantin.
Hydantin. Okay, got it.
And it is actually slow releasing formaldehyde.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah. So, that's what we use for embalming,
Yeah.
It is a preservative in the purest sense of the word, but I don't think it's something that we actually want to be putting on our living, breathing dogs.
No. Quick question from my wonderful friend Sharon. She's so much of a fan, she wants to use your shampoos.
Sharon, this is the only shampoo or soap product I have in my house. I have it in my shower. I use it for my hair. I use it for my body wash. I have it in foamer bottles at every sink in the house. And that's my hand soap that I use. And so absolutely, we actually have a pretty big contingent of two-leggers that are dipping into their four-legger stash
Well, now that's really good. Will you ever go into the human shampoo business? Will there be a two-legger?
Initially, we thought we might, but goodness, when we
Oh
started
gosh, yeah.
seeing how much more difficult that was, I don't know. It would take three or four of me and
Mhm. And a
to be able
team,
to do
yeah.
that. And the bottom line is, it's kind of funny. I mean, I was still, coming out of cancer treatment and everything, and it occurred to me when I was in the shower one day, my dog shampoo is healthier than this crap I bought for myself.
Mhm.
And so that's when I did the clean sweep and
Yep.
started using that for myself, and it's certified organic to the food standard. That
Yeah.
this is one thing about the organics program. I'll jump ahead a little bit here, that a lot of people aren't really familiar with. They think if something is certified organic, it will have the USDA seal and it will be very obvious. And if it doesn't, then you're not telling the truth. And that's actually not correct. There are different standards within the National Organic Program. The food grade standard, which is what our original line in the clear bottles is, that what that literally means is that at least 70% of the ingredients in that bottle, and all of the ingredients have to be listed, are certified organic.
Nice.
And the rest of the ingredients, the 30%, it can't just be whatever you want. It has to come off the national approved list of ingredients that is also maintained by the National Organic Program. So, for instance, water
Mhm.
is not organic.
Right, right.
Salt is not organic. A lot of natural elements are not organic, nor can they be, because, like with water, water goes wherever water goes, and you don't know
Right. Yeah.
what it's been in contact with, or if it's been involved in pesticide runoff or herbicide runoff or things like that. You don't know.
Right.
So, but it's an approved substance to use. Our food grade shampoo is actually 92% certified organic ingredients. And the newer line that we came up with, let's see, gosh, I guess that's been 3 or 4 years ago now. Um, that one actually earned the highest level of certification that is available, and we have earned the right to use the USDA seal on that label. And what that means is that 95% or more of all of the ingredients are certified organic. And
That's really amazing.
the water in our original shampoo, it's a water-based shampoo, and so that's what kept us from meeting
Mhm.
that higher standard right away. And so it's interesting to me that little bitty four-legger was the one to figure out, if we replace water with something that is certified organic, then
Mhm.
we can earn the higher standard, plus use an ingredient that is inherently more beneficial for skin than water is. And so we pulled the water out of our formulation and put back in certified organic aloe juice.
Okay. Yeah.
Very, all kinds of research and studies to
Yeah.
show that, the benefits to skin and conditioning that aloe juice has. So just pulling that out
It made the difference.
made the difference. And so we were actually the first company in the world to earn the USDA seal on a commercially available product for a dog shampoo.
That's a tremendous accomplishment.
Well, thank you.
A
We're
little, a little company from Kentucky.
a little bitty company from Kentucky, and we sell all over the world now.
Yeah.
It's mind boggling to me. You know, Hi Marisa, you can get it on Amazon. You can, I don't know if you're in the United States or not. We do have some distributors in Singapore. We have some in Australia. We have one in Great Britain. We have one in the UAE now. Our friends Larry and Charlie Pruden, they're
Yeah,
distributing.
Larry and Charlie are amazing.
Oh, dang, they're nuts. But
There is a chance they will be at the expo.
I know. I was chatting with Larry
Yeah.
over the
Hopefully
weekend.
they can get over here.
Yep, I know now. It's who knows,
It's
but
every day it's a different challenge.
yeah.
But
So
they are wonderful, and what forces of nature to do what they do where they're doing it. I mean,
yes, yes,
they're right there.
yes. We have
Another
a Canadian distributor too.
oh,
That's
cool.
a fairly new one, and we've
Mhm.
also made our products available. On we don't sell everything that we have on Amazon because honestly, I don't trust them to handle it
Yeah.
properly. Some is in glass bottles and
Mhm.
gallons, and I just don't trust them with it.
Mhm.
But the products that we do sell are all 10 of our shampoos, or rather 9 of our shampoos and our nose and paw balm.
Mhm.
And we set that on Amazon for them to sell it globally. So a lot of times, I've had people from Romania or wherever email. So where can I get this? Like go on Amazon.com, the US platform,
Right.
and
Yeah.
see if they've approved that. So we've approved it, but Amazon does what Amazon wants to do,
Right.
and they may
Right.
or may not actually sell it. So
Yeah. Um, Banjo. There is Banjo. What is the organization IMO? Do you know? It's a new one to me. It's
IMO, I do not know what that is.
huh. We'll have to research that and
Yeah,
we can find out. I
I'm
would venture international something.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Some,
don't
I mean,
know.
and there are different certification, bodies with the National Organics Program. The USDA one for the United States is the gold standard, really, in the world. But many companies or many countries have their own um, organic agency too for their country, and they work together. I mean, as
Yeah.
long as everybody's in compatico with with the
Yeah.
standards, being consistent across the board, then it's that's why we can source, some things from outside of the United States. Not very many, but some ingredients just don't grow in the United States, or
Right.
we don't
Right.
have the climate for it. But the when we do have to do that, we make sure we go through the proper channels and have the organic certification on it. So
Excellent. Janet had an interesting point. Janet lives in crazy cold areas, but her dogs have an incredibly active lifestyle and they're outdoors all the time. So her question is, do we really need to bathe? How often, in this sort of lifestyle? What's your take on that?
I mean, that's a really good question. And the key point of that is in their situation or in their lifestyle. I got an email from a vet. I'm not even sure um, where he lived, but he was asking about four-legger, and he made the comment that, he's got a 12-year-old lab that's never been bathed and, is very healthy. And, my
Mhm.
response to that is that's great, but not all dogs have the genetic disposition to just be naturally healthy, particularly in the day that we live in with the exposure to environmental toxins just skyrocketing. I mean, they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
So it just depends on, what you feel like your dog's exposure is to, yard treatments or, probably in the woods hiking around, it's not that great. So, it's, we don't really advocate, oh, all dogs need to have a bath. I mean,
Right.
some people would do that, but, it's very situational. Dogs aren't little robots that they
Right.
all behave the same way, and they all will respond to a product in the same way. They have their own little beings, and so it's important to honor that in whatever their living situation happens to be.
Yeah, and some dogs with allergies, they just secrete more sebum, more oils. Some dogs stink, some dogs don't.
I've got a stinky little dog. I mean, and she's a rescue, and so I don't really know. My thought is that she probably received 2 full puppy rounds of vaccinations before she was a year old.
Mm-hmm.
And, the toxins that are circulating in her little body are still, trying to make their way out. And she's just she goes, it's just not all the time. She just goes through these phases and she just smells like a locker room. Bailey, I love you, but my gosh,
Right.
let's go to the bathtub.
Same room with you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, Banjo is asking, your ingredient supplier in Canada, or what your distributor, I guess it would be more correctly called. Do you recall who it is?
Um, Nash, Natural Pet Distributors of Canada is the
Okay.
name.
There
And
you have it, Banjo.
actually, I can drop a link in here or send
Yeah,
it to you. There's it's not live on our website page yet, but there is a map that shows,
Oh,
where in Canada the stores, the specific stores that are selling
um,
for it or so.
that will be very useful.
Sure.
Um, a question from Kimberly, who breeds dogs. She starts, and certainly with my puppies, yeah, I start bathing them 5, 6 weeks. Do you have a puppy specific safe product?
We
What are your offerings in that category?
Any of our products are safe to use from beginning 6 to 8 weeks. Some breeders
Mhm.
prefer to wait a little bit longer, whatever. But whatever your norm is, they're all safe. They all have the same base shampoo, so it's not going to, be anything that could be problematic. And it's gentle enough. I mean, our shampoo is more alkaline because dog's skin is more alkaline than human skin is very acidic by comparison. And so, we have some dogs in that we are aware of that have incontinence issues, and they have to at least have, a hiney bath every single day, if not once, multiple times. And our unscented shampoo is what they use. For puppies, I would say because they are still going through a lot of developmental sequences and stages at that age, that maybe the unscented would be a good choice if they happen to be, more sensitive to the scents from the essential oils. And that's what we use we don't use fragrance. We use essential oils as a natural scent. And so some dogs, are more
Some
sensitive
people
to it.
too.
And yeah, and some people too. So, it's just something to do trial and error and see which one works the best. But as far as safety goes, there's no issue with that with even young puppies.
Good
And
to
we don't really do a lot of recommendations based on breed.
Mhm.
It's more based on health conditions and,
Mhm.
certain things that an owner might be dealing with, like a yeasty dog or,
Sure.
just different things like that. Most of our recommendations on our website are based on health conditions.
On
So,
health conditions, yeah.
mhm.
Um, Heather wants to know if you plan to expand your conditioner offerings.
Well, that's the funny thing with organic shampoo. If you stick with it long enough, even people who are diehard fans of conditioner will find they don't need conditioner anymore.
That's
It
great.
it won't happen overnight necessarily. For some dogs it does, but for the majority, if you just stick with organic and don't go back and put non-organic things on top of them,
Mhm.
because that's going to keep you perpetually in square one of
Right.
trying to get out of non-organic exposures to ingredients. But I don't. I mean, I've lost count. There's so many people that have said, I used a poodle. Poodle people. Oh, I've got to use a conditioner. It's like,
Oh,
okay.
poodle people use more product than anybody.
Well, and my little Henry Clay was a poodle, but I just kept him in a puppy cut all the time. And so, that was my solution. But that's probably more because I'm lazy, but at the time. But, most people find I don't need to use conditioner
That's good
anymore.
to know.
And the one that we do have, there are a couple of options. the cedar peppermint shampoo, which is in our food grade line, that has organic guar gum in it, which is a natural conditioner and humectant. So that is one option if if you just really feel like they need that extra bit of conditioning. The other thing is one of our newest products is their apple cider vinegar conditioning rinse.
Mm.
And it's a product that you can use either in conjunction with the bath. After you can spray it on and leave it for however long you can talk your dog into
Standing around.
it's just standing around there, and then rinse it off. And then it can also be used in between baths as a conditioner that you don't have to rinse off. It's a light mist
Yep.
product, so you can just mist it on, and that's a really good conditioning product also.
Here's a kind of out of your normal expectation question. Products for the lawn.
Yep.
Now, organic fertilizers are usually, I mean, I would think of like manure
Yep.
or something.
Yep.
Um,
There are, and we actually have a pretty good blog on our website about what you can do to your yard to help
oh, it's-
pest proof it. Rather than putting stuff on your dog, what can you do to their environment? Is
yeah,
kind of our premise. And so it's a commitment. I mean, it's not something that you can you have to manage your time in order to be able to do it. But we do things in my yard. We use nematodes, which a lot of people are familiar with that, but they're basically organisms that you put into the grass before the flea season really starts, and they eat the larvae of flea eggs. And so we do that. You just spray them out through a hose sprayer. We use cedar based and lemongrass based sprays for mosquitoes and fleas and
sure.
ticks and things like
Do you
that.
do anything special in terms of a fertilizer, as Veronica's asking?
If you
Lawn
we
foods kind of thing?
we use they're nitrogen based, so they're natural elements, and that's what we use in the spring. And then there are there's a couple of products that they use corn gluten, or not gluten, but corn oil, yeah, as a fertilizer, and and a little bit of weed control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like getting the harsh stuff
Right.
and spraying on the yard, and the dandelions are gone the next day. It's not like that, but we don't. I guess to ultimately answer your question, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We don't make a product for that, but they are out there. It's like organic dog shampoo. You have to hunt and
Search. Yeah.
look on Arbico Organics is a website, Arbico, and they sell a lot of ORMI stuff that is natural ingredient based, and
Good
there's
reference.
some
Is
things.
that just AR.com
ARBICO.
probably?
Yes. Yep.
I think I just hit that in there. Let's talk. Lisa just asked before I let you go on to the next thing. Yeasty dogs.
There's several different tiers of that, and it depends on how set in the yeast is. If it's a kind of a seasonal thing, or if it's more of a chronic thing that's been going on, then the answer to that question is different. But from our products, if you're just dealing with basic yeast, and you're cleaning up everything else about limiting carbohydrates and all the things that feed into yeast from the gut perspective, the peppermint tea tree shampoo that we have, that is the organic equivalent to medicated shampoo.
Nice.
Without being actually medicated and have the synthetic ingredients that you would get in that. So that one's really good for yeast. The peppermint oil is a cooling oil, and so a lot of dogs that are suffering from yeast or any other kind of skin condition have what's referred to as a hot skin
Mhm.
dog. And so the cooling from the peppermint is very soothing to them, and then the tea tree helps to control and regulate the sebum production as it comes out through
Right.
the skin. And so it helps in two different ways to be able to address that. And then, for some dogs, that's not enough. We do make custom blends using Dr. Melissa Shelton's Animalios,
Mhm.
where people will get our unscented shampoo and, for instance, her Yeasty Beastie essential oil blend and make a custom shampoo and a
Oh,
spraying mist. And
that's fantastic.
yeah, so there's different tiers, that you can kind of go up. But I mean,
Mhm.
initially, I would start with the peppermint tea tree and see if that does the trick, and if not, then just know that
Would
there are
that be
other things.
suitable for any other, like, inflammatory skin conditions?
Sorry.
Would it be suitable for other
Oh, yes,
inflammatory
yes,
skin type enough,
absolutely.
a good basic, "My
Yeah,
dog has a hot spot or is prone to hot spots."
absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
it's really good for anything that, is kind of at the skin level that is, contributing to bacterial or fungal infection, anything like
Mhm.
that. It's very good for those
Oh, that's
problems.
excellent. And, what about dogs with just generally oily skin, what we would call the seborrheic dog?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just touch them and you have that film on your hands and there's
right,
some odor.
right,
Where do
right.
you start with those on in your line?
I think the lemongrass and aloe in the food grade, the original product,
Mhm,
is really good. Lemongrass essential oil is a natural astringent for one. It's a natural antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial, antioxidant
mhm.
ingredient, and so it's a really powerful essential oil, and that one is really good for that. And part of what lends into that too would be increasing the frequency of baths.
Yeah,
There may
yeah,
be a time that would be a time when a weekly bath or even every 2 or 3 days.
yeah, I have
Um,
others doing that.
yeah, that would be entirely appropriate and not a problem with four-legger shampoos.
Excellent, excellent. And, you know, you got some serious fans here. Some serious fans.
Carol, hi Carol. I'm late, but I love four-legger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, yeah, we do, and we're committed to our fans and our customers, and one of the ways that we try to demonstrate that is we don't accept any paid advertising on our website. We don't accept endorsements. We don't do affiliates. We don't do anything that would call into question whether we've been compromised as a company or not, and are, saying one thing out of one side of our mouth and doing something differently. And so we don't do that. All of our blog posts are written either by our chemist or me.
Mhm.
We get, probably 100 emails a week. Can I write a blog for you? No.
No,
No.
nope, nope.
Thank
It's
you for your interest, but no.
no, no, we're fine, thanks.
Yeah. And so we
Yeah,
just,
that takes a lot of strength for a company to say, we're not gonna take any endorsements. We're not going to have an affiliate program. We're not gonna let any promotion out of our control because we wanna keep it in our style, which
exactly.
your style is educate and inform,
Right.
uh, and do what's right by the dog, produce a quality product.
Right. And give it a chance. I mean,
Yeah.
we live in a time when people expect a silver bullet for everything, and it
Mhm.
doesn't exist. You have to
No, not at all.
you have to make the decision, and whether it's about food or grooming products or what other kinds of things that you might be using with your dog, there is no silver bullet unless it's artificial and synthetic, and that's exactly what you don't want.
Yeah. Well, and how do you find out about, you know, let's say there I am at the pet store. I'm choosing between your shampoo and somebody else's. And your shampoo, I can read the ingredients in. The competitors, you got that DMD, whatever you said it was stuff. How do I know what that stuff is?
You have to do a lot of research. And so, one thing that we've done to try to help kind of facilitate that is we have created a dog shampoo ingredient database.
Oh,
And we've had it for several years. We've revamped it, and we have an option on it where people can say, "Well, this ingredient isn't in your database. Can you research it and study it?"
so they can write to you.
They can, yeah, they can just write to us. And
Wow.
I still don't see where to drop that link in here.
Um,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. Do you see the right hand you see where the comments are?
Yeah, my stop Russian aggression thing, I think, is covering
Oh,
that.
above that, I have something that says type something.
No, I don't see that. I see Diane. is the
Yeah,
comment that I see. Hi, Diane.
okay. So let me, guys, I'm just going to go to fourlegger.com.
Let me. Well, actually, it's a separate. See, this is how committed we are. We created a whole different website for the database, and we don't
so
sell
tell me.
products from that.
Okay.
So we don't. We want you to go there for education.
Okay.
And
So what is the site?
it is. Let's see. I wonder what happens if I.
See, welcome to technology. You guys are watching this.
Yeah, you're seeing it. It is www.petshampooingredient.database.com.
Base.com. I'm going to make sure it comes up.
Yeah, all run together.
There it is. Okay, guys, bear with me. We're cutting, we're pasting. We are just having an amazing technology day.
And it's set up. It's very simple. It's very user friendly. The ingredients that are analyzed in it are graded according to 3 criteria. The first criteria is it natural? Is an ingredient natural or is it synthetic? The second criteria is, it just flew out of my head. Is it safe? With reasons why and what health risks that might be associated with that particular ingredient. And then the third criteria is, could it be certified organic or not?
And you guys should be seeing this on your screen. I just was able to switch over to that.
So if you choose, the drop down is the alphabet, basically A, B, C, D, E, F, because it's just too crazy to try to organize it any other way. But Laurie, go in to the D's and type in DMDM.
Okay.
And look for DMDM High Danton.
Here we go.
And you'll see.
And D's. And I should type this right up here, DMD. We'll check that out. Nope. DMD.
High Danton. If you go to the D in the drop down and then click on that, it should just pull up the page that has all the
D's. Denatured alcohol, dimethicone. I thought that was something that was in gas X or something. And that you see this DSS, that's in enemas.
It's astonishing what is in. These are things that are ingredients that are in pet shampoos.
That's wild. But so you can get this as a laxative, or it can be in your shampoo. Unbelievable.
Well, and the reason that, we felt like this was so important is let's go back to biology just for a second. Most people know that skin is the biggest organ of a dog's body, of a human's body too, but it is the biggest organ. And so, one of the primary differences between human skin and dog skin is that dog skin is thinner in terms of the number of cell layers that make up the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. So, things absorb quicker through a dog's skin than do through a human skin. And so some of these ingredients are also used in combination with what are, the politically correct term that manufacturers will use are enhancers. And what that basically means is that it is speeding up the absorption of everything that is in the product through the skin.
Wow.
And so, the skin is the protective barrier for the immune system for anything that's coming from outside. It gets in one of two ways, either through the mouth and into the gut, or through the skin through absorption. And so when you have things like this DMDM hydantin, and that's combined with another ingredient that is an enhancer, then you are in effect speeding up the rate of absorption of formaldehyde into your dog.
Yeah, of everything. Wow.
Of everything. And so, another very common ingredient is the cocobetane, cocamidopropyl betaine. See that in everything. It's a surfactant, and people like to say, "Oh, it's derived from a coconut." Okay, but if you put that finished ingredient next to a coconut, doesn't look anything at all like a coconut anymore, and it's been through so many different chemical reactions that it is actually become a synthetic ingredient.
Wow.
So
that's mind-boggling.
Yeah. So
what a great resource this is.
When you're at the store looking at labels, if you see something that says coconut based, put it back.
That's what it is. It's that artificially.
It is a synthetic ingredient, and there's a lot of there's so much behind the scenes that go into the processing of these synthetic ingredients, and there's contaminants that are left over, and if those aren't cleaned out of the ingredient, then they make their way into the product too. And how in the world is the average consumer going to know that? I mean, they don't.
There's no way. There's no way. And we see cocoa and we think that's what it is.
Right. And I mean, and there are some really great coconut, based companies. And we're friends with many that are in our holistic community that are coconut oil and the cocoa therapy girls. They're great friends, and I love their product. They've gone the extra mile too and gotten USDA certified organic, and I think we're the only two on a commercially available level that have done that. So it's important. Ingredients matter. And so that's what we wanted to do with this database, and make that available to people to go, when you're looking at whatever product you have at your house, sit down in front of the database and type it in. If you find an ingredient that's not in there, click on the please investigate this kind of a thing. And just another point about that, Laurie, real quickly. We don't put a lot of faith in Dr. Google, and a lot of these
sometimes
searches. We do our research based on the EWG, the Environmental Working Group, the cosmetic database, which incidentally has not been updated since the 1940s. So many ingredients that are still legally okay to use probably shouldn't be. They fall into the category of the forever chemicals that are with us forever. And the PubMed, we go to academic journals and medical journals and veterinary journals to do all of our research. We don't just Google something and find out, what so and so's aunt's cousin's, babysitter
Yeah.
had a bad experience.
Or somebody who had a bad experience has a big axe to grind, and
Yeah. We can always tell when something's going around about essential oils because, I mean, we just get inundated with emails. Why do you use this essential oil, or why do you do that? It's killing dogs, and it's like, no.
no, we use an actual veterinarian's formulation.
Well, not only that, but we use it in the proper dosage and with the proper recommendations for size and weight and all of that.
Yeah.
In the mixing of the formulation. So, and the quality and integrity of the ingredient at the constituent level to begin with.
Right.
It's interesting, most misuse of any product, whether it's an essential oil or whatever it may be, has happened because somebody didn't know how to use it properly and thought that it was okay just to,
dump it on.
Yeah, dump it on.
Here, what's your take on this? Diane's question. Renewable plant-derived and coconut-based cleansers.
You don't. How do you know what is really in there? You have no way of knowing.
Yeah.
Unless you are, personal friends with the manufacturer that's making that, and every supplier that they're buying from, and what ingredients that they're using. People will say, well, that's proprietary. Well, that's ridiculous. This is something that you're putting on a living, breathing being. Right. There is no such thing as proprietary. Yeah. And, it's not like people are entitled to have a list of ingredients. They're not entitled necessarily to have the recipe, the specific recipe,
right,
portions of those ingredients, because that is, proprietary information.
That's your unique formula.
There is no reason whatsoever that a company should say to you, you can't have our full ingredient list. If you get that response, or even you feel like you're getting that response, put it back. It's not worth the risk to yourself or to your dog.
Well, and I always think of, there's a certain supplement that's touted as the be all and end all, and they list a proprietary blend of.
Yep.
And if you go to Dr. Google, you will find out that the ingredients that are in there are like milk thistle and turmeric. I mean, they're all common things.
Right.
And why couldn't they just have said, our unique recipe contains these things?
Right. And it's a hard, it's hard for manufacturers to feel that free with their information.
Yeah.
But, the way I look at it is if you're making a product that is going to be used on a living, breathing being, then you are compelled, just because of that, to be as forthright and as transparent as you possibly can be about what you're selling. And so, again, I go back to the organics program all the time, but that's our third party validation. We can't use things that have been in contact with pesticides or herbicides, or haven't been cleaned properly, or have been mishandled, or scraped up off the side of the road or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And people don't realize, the violation for that. The enforcement end of the National Organic Program lacks something to be desired, for sure. It's like the FDA, the enforcement side of that is lacking with food. But the violation, the penalty for violating the organic standard and making a claim about a product or an ingredient being organic when it is not, is $18,000 per instance.
Wow.
So, you better believe what we say about a four-legger is 100% true. We'd be bankrupt tomorrow if it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they would go and apply that penalty to all of the other gazillion of manufacturers that aren't certified organic and that are using terminology like organic and natural, all natural, we could wipe out the national deficit and by the end of the week. It's crazy
Yeah.
that
Well,
that's not.
the false claims, I think, of the pet food industry, they're never enforced.
Mm-mm.
People can say anything on the label.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And you can go to the organics page and report a violation. I mean, that is one thing a consumer can
Yeah.
do is
Oh,
report a
yeah.
violation. And, you know, unfortunately, it may not ever come to any positive fruition, but at least, you're doing your part to
Yeah.
clean up the
Speaking
industry.
up.
Yeah. I mean, we can do things at an individual level, and it's important for people to realize that. So,
Yes, without a doubt. So we are at the top of the hour, and I know you have work to do and things to prep for coming to the expo. It's coming up fast.
it
You
is.
will have product available at the expo,
We're going to do
or you do an ordering system.
we're going to do an ordering system,
Okay,
and
that's great.
yeah, it's
It's hard to bring stuff.
it's hard to bring shampoo because it's heavy,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's hard to ship all that. So we've done the paper ordering system before, but we're actually going to do. You can just order it while you're there. We'll have a laptop available or an iPad available, and just order it. And we'll have a special deal for the expo event
Excellent.
if you order as a result of that. And I'm so appreciative of you doing this and all these people that have come in here.
And all the people that will watch the replay.
Yes, and all the people that will watch the replay, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you all. And so, I can't say it heartfelt enough. We just so much appreciate the pet parents who are taking the lives and the health of their dogs very seriously and trying to do the very best that they can for them and seeking out ways to do that.
I can't agree more. So thank you guys. Please go to healthydogexpo.com. Check out all the links to all of our amazing sponsors. Grab your tickets. Come, learn, hang out. We're going to have a great time. I will be back tomorrow with the folks from Evermore who got shut out by the technology glitch on Tuesday. So thank you again, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.